Hello there guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am the Rogue Witcher. Thank you for joining me. It's finally here. Today's video is my season review of the Pendragon Cycle, The Rise of Merlin, the hit fantasy show over on the Dailywire Plus. It's been an absolute privilege and a joy to cover this show, from the trailer reactions to the weekly review episodes. I'm sad that it's over, but we do have this final video, and hopefully we will get some news soon about a possible season 2, because I think we can all agree we would love the show to continue. Before I get into it, again, I'm just gonna have to keep saying it, a massive thank you to everyone. The amount of I think I calculated it, over 100 subscribers I've gained just from Pendragon videos, from trailers and reviews. You know, before this I had about 6 or 7 videos go over 1,000 views. Pretty much every single review bar one has gone over 1,000, some 1.7, 1.5, one did over 5,000, my highest rated viewing video ever. One of my trailer ones did like 3.7 thousand. I just want to say a massive thank you, because it is all because of you. And without, without the Pendragon Cycle, who knows where my channel would be. So I want to say a thank you and a huge shout out to all of you that have watched, commented, liked and supported. It really does mean a lot. And I hope you'll stick around for the channel without Pendragon, and maybe check out some of the other things I'll be covering and things like that. It'd be great to see you pop up in the comment section. Right, I'm going to review today's video with the season review. I'm basically going to go over some of my favourite things about the season, my general rough thoughts as a rating wise, and hopes and what I think could happen in season 2. And then I'm going to answer some of the questions you guys submitted. I say some, all of them. I think we got 9 questions submitted, so I'll be answering all 9. Yeah, I'm going to try and do this quick. I don't want to go too long and drag it out. So yeah, without further ado, let's review the Pendragon Cycle. I'm going to start off with an easy one, and that's my favourite character. And I think we can all agree it has to be Merlin. He is the star of the show, of course, not really in the first 2 episodes, at the very end of episode 2. But thereon onwards was the star. It is the rise of Merlin after all. I think the actor, I believe his last name, Mr. Sharp, was fantastic. I understand from people telling me he's not very experienced. He's done some short films and stuff like that, but very green in the acting world, and he absolutely smashed it. He had such a presence on screen. Remember, he's playing someone who's much older than he is, and you feel the weight of that on his expressions, on his face, his demeanor, the way he carries himself. And then when the flashbacks, when he was younger and green, you saw that too. He played both brilliantly. I think he handled, the whole series fantastically. I really like the development of Merlin, with the backstory being dripped and drabbed across the season as we went, and I think he was by far the standout of the show. I also just want to give a couple of special shout outs to Peleus and King Custennin, who I also thought were in the running for favourite character. King Custennin, in my opinion, is the funniest character, with some of the funniest lines in the show, but they are special mentions. But yeah, for me, favourite character, a very simple and easy one, Merlin. I'm then going to do my favourite and best fight scene, and it was tough because it was between 2, but I am going to go with the Merlin slow-mo fight scene after the death of Ganeda in episode 6. I had some criticisms of this scene, and someone has explained it to me that makes it more sense, that's made it make more sense, sorry, should I say, to me. The fact that the reason it is very much in slow motion more is because it is Merlin, obviously with his powers almost slowing it down, and we're seeing it how he's perceiving it, which makes more sense and added to the experience for me and made me enjoy it more. I still think it would have been cool to see a little quicker, even some segments of just him just quickly just taking out a few, but overall it was pretty cool to see him explode and just unleash and just show pure carnage and rage. I thought it was fantastic. The one that came runner-up was Aurelius versus the other king, I forget the king's name, but the one whose daughter is going to be the focal point between Uther and Aurelius, the experienced one, and he fought brilliantly. I believe he's also a fight coordinator, so it was probably him that created this fight scene, and it was a very good one. He was brutal and barbarish versus, quite green and Aurelius, who's probably not used to that sort of rough and tumble fighting. He was probably trained quite nicely, in the proper form, whereas he was just slapping him about and getting all dirty and proper rough fighting, which I enjoyed. So a special shout out to that one. But for me, the best fight scene was definitely Merlin in episode 6. My favourite episode, it's tough because there's a few that were really good. Episode 7 was fantastic. I really enjoyed episode 2. But it has to be episode 6. It has to be the Ganeda episode. I think it's the best episode of the season. so much emotional weight, so much payoff after all the build up and thinking who is she and why is she, especially for me of not reading the books, and then to get it all, to see how it all unfolded, to finally know why Merlin was in exile, to see him have everything and lose it all, and to see the aftermath of him just going berserk. I think it was the best episode. His acting, Brett Cooper absolutely smashed it. I love her anyway, but she did a brilliant job. She played Ganyetta brilliantly. King Custennin in the episode, fantastic. I loved the whole episode. I love the story. We got action, we got heartache, we got brilliant acting. I just thought it was an absolute belter of an episode. My favourite scene I think will have to be episode 7, Morgian and Merlin at top of the hill. Just, it is a fight, but it's a fight of words. It's a conversation, it's flowing, it's jibbing and jabbing each other, you know, trying to get one up on one another. And I really enjoyed it. I really thought the actress who played Morgian, however you want to pronounce it, was phenomenal. I think she played it brilliantly. You know, a tad hint of crazy and manipulative, but very strong and power hungry, but also incredibly smart and shrewd. I thought she was brilliant. Merlin, as I've already praised him, I just love how she was trying to, you know, manipulate him and entice him and drive him to what she wanted, whereas Merlin, stoic and calm, but stayed in his religion, his belief, his process, his thought, and in the end come out on top, you know, and said, you think you know all this, you think you've done all this, but no, I knew all along how this was going to play out. Really love their dynamic, because also when you forget this is aunt and nephew, there is a family dynamic, and with all the history of the past with Taliesin and all that, it's a very powerful scene, and again, your attention is just there. You know, I've forgotten about the battle at this point. I'm just completely honed in on what they're talking about. Fantastic scene. Worst moment was Ganyetta's death. It broke me. I knew it was coming at that point, but it was horrible. Still, I know people have said it is different in the book, but in the show version, he would have sent Peleus. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. He would have sent Peleus. But anyway, I've clearly moved on. I'm clearly over it, guys. Clearly. But no, a very sad scene when he finds her and she's still alive, and she calls him, you know, my wolf boy, you know, just like she did when she first met him. That was really touching. And you see the pain in Merlin's face that, you know, he knows he's failed and he's failed her. Really great scene, but it's the worst for me because I didn't want it to happen, so I was pissed. Most shocking and badass moment has to be when Merlin chopped off King Custennin's arm. You know, at that point, I thought it was just a hand. I honestly thought it was just a hand. I'd clearly missed it, and I thought it was just a silver hand and he had the rest of his arm. No. You know, he's in a trance, he's enraged, he's just hacking people down. He feels the touch, he just turns and whoosh, it was shot brilliantly. The shock on the act, great acting by the actor who played King Custennin. He was just, what? And it took, Merlin didn't even register it for a few seconds. He was still entranced, and then you see it leave his face like, oh my God, what have I done? And that's when he leaves and flees. No, fantastic, a really shocking moment. Best of the season. The best battle scene, not fight scene, but like multiple. It's really tough because there is a lot of good ones, and obviously the finale is really good, but I actually really like the King Vortigern scene. I think it was very good. I liked the actor who plays Pope in a show I love called The Falling Skies. He's brilliant. He's a broken man. He knows he's done wrong, but in the end he just thinks screw it, and he just goes on, starts cutting people down. Aurelius and his people start overtaking and getting them. And then at the top there where he sees his son, and then it pans too late out and they both have fallen. I thought it was a very powerful scene and a very well acted scene, and it was the first time for me the violence really got good in the Pendragon Cycle. So that is my favourite battle scene. My most shocking and, how can I put it? Not most shocking moment and most speechless moment has to be the death of Taliesin. At this point, remember, I've not read the books. I don't know what's going on. In my opinion, this was all in the same timeline. I'm waiting for Merlin to appear, not realising until the eyes and everything. I then put together that he was his dad, but I still didn't think he was going to die, you know, and then all of a sudden, bang. I don't know why I'm banging it with a gun. Bow and arrow, gone. Just in the moment, he had poured his life, essence into Merlin. So would he have died anyway? Possibly, probably, but it was just that shockingness of, wow, I thought I was getting a whole story of this character, and I'm not. It's over in episode 2. It was like a Game of Thrones moment, with Eddard Stark or Robb Stark. You're thinking, hang on, what? We're just building this guy up and now he's gone. What's going on? So a fantastic moment. It completely stunned me. Overall, I would give the Pendragon Cycle a 9 out of 10 rating. You know, considering the budget, I think it looks very good. The costumes are good, the acting's good, the fight choreography is good. Sometimes the CGI, a bit spotty, but you can understand that with the budget. And I was just pleasantly surprised. It is complicated and complex going in without knowing everything, but thankfully people filled me in a lot, and you do learn to pick it up as you go along. So a fantastic show. Season 2, I hope we get it. My prediction is, I do know a little bit of Arthurian lore, but I don't know too much. I believe Uther is going to be Arthur's dad. I obviously think that there will be strife between the brothers. They will both end up sleeping with this woman, both loving her. Who is the dad? Maybe no one will know. I believe season 2 will pick up at the time of Arthur, and we'll get flashbacks of all what transpired before. That's how I think they're going to go with it. Anyway, if they do it, that's my prediction for season 2. That is how the story will unfold. Right then, guys, let's answer some of your questions that have been sent in. This question comes to us from @OliveBranchJJ9GL. Hi, I've really enjoyed your reviews and I have a question. Sorry it might be a little long, that's alright. So in the first episode, Taliesin meets the mysterious old guy that was sitting on the throne in the Druid's Circle of Stones. It seemed that he was not as good as he encouraged Taliesin to revive the old ways and then turned into a druid god. But then in episode 7, he showed up with Taliesin and helped Merlin. So I was just kind of confused about who the old man is and if he is good or not. People in the books will know more than me, but my interpretation of this was he is maybe an angel, a messenger on behalf of God, and that perhaps this was more of a metaphor showing Taliesin what the gods of his religion are like. He sort of took him into the past and showed him killing that person for the sacrificialness of the gods, and him getting a first-hand experience of what it's like to do these acts to sort of put him hot off that religion and the ways that they do it, that it's wrong, and that to join the light and the right side. That was how I interpreted it. I could be wrong. People might tell us in the comment section below, but thank you for your question. This next question comes to us from 0113-Tom. I like their name. Great video. Wish I found the previous one. My question for you is, if you're still taking them, is, I am. Favourite change to the classical story for this adaptation? That's a tough one because like I say, I'm not super versed in the classical stuff. I know bits and bobs, but I guess what I will do is go with Merlin. Merlin, in most of the interpretations I've seen, is a very old wizard. You know, he's got the beard, the hat and all that. There's a cartoon, there's Cursed, where he's played by one of the Skarsgård brothers, and he's very old. I like the fact that he's young, and we're getting a much different version of Merlin, a more battle and warrior driven in some aspects, and then a very peaceful one. So I would say that is my favourite change, is more how Merlin is perceived. This question comes to us from @ExtremeClipper. Would you consider reacting to the production diaries? I completely understand I'd rather not understand the movie magic as a reason not to personally. It makes me appreciate the final product more, and I found them fascinating. Thank you for the great review of episode 7. Fingers crossed for a second season. Thank you very much for the kind words. I suppose I could react to them. The thing is, I'll be honest with you, I'm not very good at editing. I'm really not. I shoot and edit all of this on my phone. I don't own a laptop. You know, I have to do it all on my phone, and it is very tricky when you're doing long-term editing as well, because I don't know the rules of what you're allowed to show and what you aren't. A trailer is very easy. It's very simple. You're allowed to show the whole 3 minutes. It's very simple. Things that go longer are a bit tricky, but it's something I'm open to. I do love watching that sort of stuff. I am going to watch those. I love watching, like, when a film or a show is finished, you know, the production diary videos, like on Star Wars or Marvel, and how they made it. I love that stuff. I agree, it adds to the experience. But I would be open to. It just depends if I could edit it, and how long they are, and if I'm capable. But thank you for the question, and I will consider it. This next question comes to us from @Monfom23. Sorry if I'm pronouncing some of these wrongs. I am not the brightest bulb. Will you be getting the official Pendragon board game? I didn't know there was an official Pendragon board game. I'm prepared to. I do love board games. Me and my friends do a bi-weekly quiz and game night every other week, so that could be something exciting. I'll definitely look into it. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, no, I will look into it. I might be tempted to indeed get the board game. I'll let you know. This question comes to us from @NoXgar. I liked the episode and the series, but it felt a bit rushed at times. The Saxon king killed off camera and Merlin doing nothing felt off, but I love Morgane's scenes. That's fair. The question is, I'd like to know your thoughts on the Morgane relationship with the old god. I thought she was there, but was being punished when she got back in the same way. But maybe I'm wrong. Also, the blood on her neck and the blood all over the body is pretty grim. It was pretty grim. Punished, probably, but from what I have been told and what I've perceived it as, she sacrificed her son. And that is why there's tons of blood, everything. You can actually see his ring that they wear around their necks on the table. So she probably is being punished because she did that to get the power from the skull god. And maybe what she's promised is not going to be fulfilled. So perhaps she is being punished as well. But I think most of the pain and the screaming was that she sacrificed her son to lose anyway. That's how I perceived it. Next question comes to us from @Conlon Family 2027. Or it's 2027, that'd have been easier. Thank you for your review. I'm looking forward to a Dailywire Season 2 of The Rise of Merlin. I hope so. My question is about the final scene of Morgane. Do you think she was torturing herself for her powers? She was covered in blood. This plays into what I just said on the last question. No, it was the blood of her son. She had sacrificed her own son to gain the power from the skull god, to see the end of the outcome, or what she believed was going to be the end of the outcome of the battle, all for it to be in vain because she was stifled from Aurelius and her stepson. So she did all that just to lose anyway. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Our next question comes from @Mr. Rojangles, who is one of my best commenters on all my videos. Thank you for the support. Biggest question is, do you have any plan on reading the books? And if so, will you only read the books the show has done so far or the whole series? This is a good question because it is something I am considering. It just depends if they continue the show. If they don't continue the show, there is a chance I do the books. I am a slow reader, not a huge book person. I like a book, but it has to be the right time and setting. Like if I'm on holiday or I'm on a plane, when I'm at home, there's too many distractions. I'm always doing something. I can't sit still. I've literally been trying to finish the Witcher books for a year and I've only read 2. So, but I am very good at audiobooks. I go to the gym, I go for walks, I like all that stuff. So there is a chance if they don't renew it, I will listen to, I hope there's audiobook versions, I would assume. If there is audiobook versions, and I could then do videos on that. I would do them all. I wouldn't just listen to 1 or 2. I'd have to do the whole saga. Our next question comes from @RachelRitchie5789. What was the top standout scene for you and what made it so? Well, I said like my favourite scene and stuff like that, but what was the standout scene? I mean, it probably would be my favourite, but I want to give the same answer. Let's think of a scene that was even more maybe shocking or just as good. I tell you what I'll give you. I love that scene actually when King Custennin is drowning Peleus and he's chastising Merlin, and then Merlin, he's like, listen, I don't want to do this, don't force me to go this way, we can all just work this out. But he pushes Merlin, and then boom, the water coming out and his guards going crazy, and then he lifts Peleus out of the air. King Custennin goes to attack and he puts him down and he goes, this is the second time you've been under my blade, right? Stop messing about. That was actually a fantastic scene. I think what made it so was him really trying to restrain himself, really trying to do the right thing, but in the end had to just show and unleash his power and remind, yo, I'm Merlin. Respect me. And final question is, guys, @NoelDon856, what was your biggest surprise in the story? It is the same answer, but I think I will have to say it was Taliesin's death. Like I said at that point, did not know that he would not be a part of the whole show, and that once I figured out he was Merlin's dad, I obviously kind of figured out, but I didn't think he'd die so quickly. I didn't know we were going to get a huge time jump. So I would say, yeah, it was that. It was very shocking. It really was. Right then, guys, that is a video. It has gone a little long. I do apologise, but I hope you enjoyed it. That was me covering the Pendragon Cycle. What a journey it's been. Hopefully you will like the video and comment on your way out as you have throughout the whole saga. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. If you haven't, and you've been watching, you haven't, please subscribe. I'm doing very well, trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. Would love to have you stick around with me. I pray that some of you will check out some of my other content. I would really appreciate it. It'd be great to hear your thoughts on it. And I'll see you all in my comment section very soon. Again, guys, thank you for the unbelievable support. I've had an unbelievable time covering this, and hopefully it's not the end. Hopefully we get season 2, and if not, I'll do videos on maybe the audiobooks. We'll continue with the Pendragon Cycle in some form or fashion, I can promise you that. Thanks for watching, guys. I've been the Rogue Witcher. I'll catch you in the next video, as always. This is me, over and out for now, on the Pendragon Cycle, The Rise of Merlin. Adios.